So, look at all this stuff here. Obviously, I've been into The Last of Us a lot lately, and I've been gathering a whole bunch of stuff and putting them here, putting them over there, putting them up there. Actually, those are just there for the video. Obviously, it's going to be a huge video if I do everything all at once. I'll just break it up into a couple of different categories. For this one, it'll be just kind of a brief overview of everything, and then I'll talk about the stuff that I just bought or put like minimal work into, because there's some things that I bought but then I modified it fairly heavily, and then there's a whole bunch of stuff that I just bought and then put it on display almost right away. Got these old man knees. So I got a couple of airsoft rifles that I converted. Yeah, the Tommy rifle, that one was weird just because it was almost straight up an M14 with the gas tube and the barrel swapped places. The Ellie rifle, I took all the guts out and I put in a blaster core. Same thing with Tommy's rifle. They both have blaster cores in them. Pipe, machete, axe, those can all be in later videos also. Got a couple of switchblades. It took me a couple of tries to get it right. The guns, the airsoft guns, that's just a placeholder. I actually have another better one on the way. The backpack, I contemplated making kind of like a rig to put everything on it, like the guns and like the melee weapons and stuff, but it's just on display for now. A lot of the clothes we'll get to in a second. Flamethrower, yeah, another video. Most of everything I got was purchased either on eBay, Amazon, Etsy. There's a couple of things that came from other sources, but those are the three big ones. Oh, the superhero cards. I got these from a guy on Etsy. His store is called At the End of the Day Kirby, and these are awesome. They're incredibly detailed. I don't know if they're just printed from screenshots or if he did some other sort of touch-up and stuff. They have the stats. It's basically all of them too. It's an entire deck that come in this cool little box. There was no way that I was going to be able to make those to that quality, so you know what? I just bought it. I do not regret anything. The bracelet here, got this from a guy named, stand by checking my resources. What is the guy's name? Outcast Artifacts. He's in Europe. Yeah, he made this bracelet and it's perfect. According to the cosplay guide put out by Naughty Dog, there's a little overlap on one of the leather parts, and he got that right too. The only thing that I did to this was I sanded it a little bit to get some of the fraying on the edges, and then the back I put in some elastic, and I didn't have to worry about unbuckling and stuff every time I wanted to put it on here. And on top of that, it makes wearing it a little bit easier too. The sugar was fairly minimal effort. It was just some weathering on these plastic sugar containers and stuff like that. This is actually faux sugar, like fake sugar that was intended to look like real sugar. I tried other stuff like, I tried sand, like white sand, but this has like little black flecks and stuff. I don't know if you can see in there. It's not entirely white. So I was just like, let's try again, and then I ended up just buying a whole bunch of what appears to be sugar. I specifically got fake sugar because I sometimes get ants, and the last thing I need is for this whole container of sugar to be sitting out in the summer, unsupervised. So yeah, no real sugar. I got them from a lady on Etsy called Heavens to Betsy Cakery. Moving on up, I have the gas mask. This is particularly modeled after Ellie's gas mask from Last of Us Part 2. It was an Amazon purchase. It cost about $50 for this thing. I've had actual gas, like real gas masks before, and obviously it's not as good as like a military quality, but you know, for $50 this is a pretty good gas mask. The way she wears it is to have the one canister on one side and then nothing on this side, which for this particular model is terrible because that's just an inlet valve, which means it's not protecting at all. All it is just sucking in ambient air. But I mean, it doesn't matter because it's Ellie. Either way, the only thing I did to this was green. I just painted that, glued a bottle cap onto the front of it because it looked a little bit more gas masky like that. Weathered it a little bit with some acrylics and stuff, but it didn't really need a whole bunch, just to give it that sense that it's not brand new. There's a little Firefly Pendant right here. This is actually a keychain, and the only thing I did to this was I pulled the keychain part off and I put it on this ball chain. And then I weathered it a little tiny bit more, but I mean, you can barely tell, especially on camera. But had to have one. The rags. In the game, they're basically this waffle pattern tea towels. It's used for pretty much everything in the game. Wicks on the Molotov cocktails. You put it in like a bottle for a silencer in The Last of Us Part 2. It's the wick for the flamethrower and stuff, so it's used for a lot of stuff. And you can get like a 4-pack of this stuff on Amazon for like $15. Again, it was multi-useful since I used it in a whole bunch of other different applications. And really, that's all it is. It's just waffle pattern tea towel. The end. And moving on to some of the clothes. I actually found an appropriate Nike Windrunner on eBay. This was from The Last of Us Part 2. This is the jacket that Ellie wears in Seattle. It was based off of the Nike Windrunner because you can tell the V pattern right there on the chest and stuff. It comes in like a billion different color combinations. A little bit of a search to find the appropriate color combo, but otherwise, got it. This shirt is from Amazon. It's the closest pattern that I could tell from Joel's shirt from the first Last of Us. And there's actually like, you know, replicas and stuff that are made. The official one I thought was actually too light. There's a fashion company that did a replica that didn't have all the colors, but this is about as close as I could find, but it's also got like this nice Sherpa lining. I stopped looking because I found this shirt. Ellie shirt, that's another Etsy purchase. The store is not on Etsy anymore. The jackets, this is Tommy's jacket. It's a Wrangler, again, a Sherpa line, but it's super, super soft and comfy, and I actually wear this jacket on a regular basis. Same thing with the Ellie jacket from the Last of Us Part 2. The one that she wears is just old OD green field jacket, but with the gray hoodie. By the way, this is by Levi. This is kind of a cheat just because it's just a hood with a little flap here that zips into the jacket, but still looks the part. And it's also super, super comfy. And yeah, it's summer, but I still wear it. This is where I've been storing everything or displaying everything. I made this stand out of just a whole bunch of scrap wood that I had in my garage. An old tube, because a lightsaber maker always has just random tubes and stuff laying around. A lot of these extra items, like the craftables, the alcohol bottle, the whiskey bottle, the brick, flashlights, jar of weed. Those can all be later videos and stuff, just because of the amount of work that I put into all of that other stuff. I have an Abbey light also, and it's just a scaled down version of the standard issue angled flashlight. It looks smaller, but that could very well be just because Abbey is so big. Who knows? The light, cob LED strip inside here, 3 strips of cob LEDs, and then this is just an acrylic plate that I painted black, and then I used a micro etcher to get the lettering in. The particular font I found on a site called What the Font, and you can basically just feed in, you know, a sample text, a picture, and it'll analyze it, and it'll basically cough up like a couple of dozen fonts that are close, some are spot on, but I use that for this font, the alcohol bottle, sports wrap, whiskey bottle labels, all use that same app. Got a 12-volt battery mounted on the back, but it's only using the 5-volt USB out. The strip is only a 5-volt strip. There's no purpose reasonably for it. I just, again, when you get obsessed with something, you just keep making stuff until you're satisfied, or until the obsession kind of wears off naturally. Sometimes it takes a long time. Case in point, a whole bunch of Legend of Zelda stuff over there. So I'll stop there, otherwise I'm just going to keep on talking forever. I guess maybe I'll do one on guns, melee weapons. Ellie's knife could probably be an entire video all on its own. Stand by, more coming. Thanks for watching. We'll see you later. That was my knee. I lost my train of thought. What am I talking about? You know what? Forget about it. Move on. This was actually... What the fuck was this?